Hi again. Welcome to the sixth part of the text movie Mahopanishad or Mahopanishad from Samaveda. We are now starting chapter 6, which is the last chapter. Giving up the deeply felt and seductive glamour consisting in imagination of empirical life, you remain what you really are. O sinless one, sportively roam the world. All this is indeed Brahman. All this extended reality is the Self. I am one and this is another. Give up this delusion, O sinless one. Samastam khalvidam brahma sarvamatmedmatatam ahamanya idam chanyaditi bhrantinam tyajangnag. The superimposed objects cannot possibly be in the eternal, extended and undivided Brahman. There is neither sorrow, delusion, old age, nor birth. Tate brahmaghane nitye sambhavanti na kalpitaah na shokosti na mohosti na jarasti na janmava. What in reality is here only, that exists. Always be calm, experiencing things as they occur, and entertaining no desire whatsoever. Neither shunning nor grasping, be always calm. Tyagadan parityagi vijvaro bhav sarvada. We duly meditate on the eternal self, the illumination of all lights that occupies the middle ground between the is and the is not. Discarding the Lord who reigns in the heart, those who run after some other god are in fact seeking a gem after casting away the kaustubha already in their possession. Very important verse. Discarding the Lord who reigns in the heart, those who run after some other god are in fact seeking a gem after casting away the kaustubha already in their possession. Some religious people find that liberals are probably anti-religion. This is the ultimate liberal statement. Santyajya hriday guheshanam devmanyam prayantiye te ratnam bhivanchanti tyaktahastasthakastubha. As Indra smites mountain peaks with his thunderbolt, so should one strike with the rod of discrimination these adversaries in the form of sense organs, both active and passive. In the evil dream seen in the night of empirical life, in this empty illusion of the body, everything experienced as the extended delusion of empirical life is impure. In childhood, one is stupefied by ignorance. In youth, one is vanquished by woman. In the period that remains, one is worried about one's wife. What can one, the meanest of men, accomplish? Unreality rides on the top of existence, ugliness on top of things lovely, pains ride on top of pleasures. What single entity may I resort to? So this is what such a man wails, cries, because he doesn't find a way out. Don't be depressed, seek not to seize what is fit only to be eschewed. Giving up ideas of both rejection and seizure, remain rooted in what is neither to be rejected nor seized. Be wholly firm. The knower, rid of things to be rejected or seized, has without latent impressions qualities such as freedom from desire and fear, conation and action, eternity, equality, wisdom, gentleness, certitude, steadfastness, amiability, contentment, charity, and soft-spokenness. With the sharp needle of penetrating intelligence, stir up the nest cast by the fisherwoman of craving in the waters of transmigratory life, a net made of the cords of variegated thoughts, even as a strong wind scatters the vast net of clouds. Then abide in the vast status as immutable Brahman. Cleaving the mind with the mind itself as one does a tree with an axe, and attaining the holy status at once, be steadfast. Standing or moving, sleeping or walking, dwelling in a place, flying aloft or falling down, inwardly sure that all this is but unreal, eschew all clinging. If you depend on this objective world, you have a mind and are in bondage. If you reject the objective world, you have no mind, you are liberated. Neither am I, nor is this real. Neither am I, nor is this real. So thinking, remain absolutely immovable in the intervals of subjective and objective awareness. Rid of what enjoys and what is enjoyed, set in the middle ground between the object and its enjoyer. Be ever given to the contemplation of yourself as pure awareness. And my understanding of this is, neither the enjoyee nor the enjoyer be. Neither the enjoyee nor the enjoyer be. Enjoy the middle and self-aware be. Dwelling on the taste, be filled with the Supreme Self, resorting to propless, steady yourself off and on. Those who are bound by ropes are released, but none in the grip of craving may be released by anyone. Therefore, Nidagha, shed craving by renouncing all mental constructions. And my recreation is, ropes will release. Ropes will release, but desires bind. Ropes will release, but desires bind. Shed the icons, free your mind. Shed the icons, free your mind. Cutting through this innate and sinful craving, whose essence is egoism, with the needle of self-abnegation, be stationed in the borderland of future and the present, entirely quelling all fear whatsoever. Rejecting the inveterate idea and the very life of these objects, and these objects are my very life. Without these I am nothing, and they are nothing without me, and reflecting, I do not belong to any object, and no object belongs to me. The intellect becomes tranquilized, and the actions are performed in a sporting spirit. Latent impression of such an agent stand renounced. This renunciation, O Brahmin, is extolled as worthy of profound meditation. And my recreation, I am this and that is I. I am this and that is I. Be free by losing the I. Be free by losing the I. Due to the equilibrium of intellect, total obliteration of latent impressions is acquired. There indeed should be deemed the obliteration of latent impressions, having one, which one gives up even the body, as one is free from all sense of possessions. He is called Jivan Mukta, that is liberated in life, who lives after giving up all conceivable objects, for he has recreatively given up all latent egoistic impressions. Having given all baseless mental constructions, having given up all baseless mental constructions and the latent impressions, he who has won tranquility is the best among the knowers of Brahman. He is the liberated, his renunciation may only be deduced. These two fearless ones, unconcerned about the pleasures and pains that occur in the due course of time, have achieved the status as Brahman, the passive renouncer and the active yogin, both of whom are self-disciplined and tranquilized. O Lord of sages, for they neither strive nor reject anything amidst the inner mental modifications. He is called the Jivan Mukta, who lives as one in dreamless sleep, who is neither lifted up nor depressed by the emotions of joy, intolerance, fear, anger, lust and helplessness, and who is free from all objective preoccupations. The craving born of latent impressions oriented towards external objects is said to be bound. The same freed from latent impressions, bound up with objects, as such is said to be liberated. Know that the desire culminating in the prayerful thought, let this be mind, to be strong chain that spawns suffering, birth and fear. The magnanimous man renounces this vis-a-vis objects both real and unreal and wins the status that is sublime. Then, outgrowing the attachment both to bondage and liberation, and the states of pain and pleasure, attachment both to the real and unreal remains unshaken like the unagitated ocean. Good sir, man may have a fourfold certitude. Engendered by my mother and father and the body from the foot to the head, this particular certitude, O Brahmin, results from the observation of the worries of bondage. Good men have second kind of certitude that promotes liberation, namely, I am beyond all objects and beings, I am subtler than the tip of a hair. Best of Brahmins, a third kind of certitude has been affirmed promotive of liberation alone, consisting in the thought, all this objective world, the entire indestructible universe, is but myself. Also, there is a fourth certitude, yielding liberation, that consists of the assertion, I and the entire world are empty and sky-like at all times. Of these, the first is said to result from the craving that earns bondage. Those having the last three are sportive, extremely pure, and are liberated in this very life. Their cravings have been wholly purified. Great souled sage, the mind seized with the certitude and everything is never born again, to the taste of sorrow. And my reading of it is, I'm not, and all that is me. I'm not, and all that is me. How then? How then can any pain befall me? He who resorts to the status beyond all objects, who is through and through the spirit that is perfect, who is neither agitated nor complacent, never suffers from this in this empirical life. Who performs the actions that fall to his lot, ever viewing foe and friend alike, who is liberated from both likes and dislikes, is neither sad nor hopeful. Who utters what pleases all, speaks pleasantly when asked, and who is conversant with the thoughts of all being, never suffers in this empirical life. And my rather pathetic rendition is, honey dripping and hearing all. Honey dripping and hearing all. Why wouldn't I be loved by all? Resorting to the primeval vision of reality marked by the renunciation of all objects and self-established, fearlessly roam the world as a veritable Jivan Mukta. Inwardly shedding all cravings, free from attachment, rid of all latent impressions, but externally conforming to established patterns of conduct, fearlessly roam the world. Externally simulating enthusiastic activity, but at heart free from it all, apparently an agent but really a non-agent, roam the world with a purified understanding. This verse probably tells me why I really love this Upanishad so much, because I had reached this point without even reading this Upanishad or any other one that told me this. That's what I actually do. I pretend to be doing a lot of economic activity when I actually don't do anything. Externally simulating enthusiastic activity, but at heart free from it all, apparently an agent but really a non-agent, roam the world with a purified understanding. So I was an agent till I was working for a corporate entity, and subsequently, I am officially working for my own consultancy, which is only one employee, that is me. And I exist as a non-agent, telling everyone that I'm an agent. Renouncing egoism with an apparent reason shining like the sky, untarnished, roam the world with a purified understanding. And at this point, I'm going to stop, because what's next is going to be something which I want to dedicate a complete separate part of this text movie to. So see you in the next part, the 7th one.